All right, so we will go ahead and start today. This one's called The Bowl Not Filled to the Brim. A few musings on gratitude and harvest time. Let's begin to settle. Let your eyes close, or if you'd rather keep your eyes open, just soften your gaze a bit and direct it a bit downward, whatever's comfortable for you today. Find the chair beneath you, let it do its work of holding you up. That's its job today, not yours. Feet flat on the floor, a little space between the knees, weight settled evenly into both hips. Let your hands land wherever they'd like, open in your lap, resting on your thighs, maybe one loosely inside the other. There's not really a correct answer here. Let the spine lift a bit, just slightly, the way a stalk of something leans toward light without straining for it. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Let your jaw unclench. Let your forehead go smooth the way it does right before sleep, except you're not going anywhere. If some part of you wants to slouch a little, just let it. Not looking for a posture to be admired from across the room. It's just a shape your body can rest in for the next little while. Now let's find the breath. Think of a place you always knew how to get back to, even in the dark, even half asleep on your feet. For some of us, it was a porch light left burning past midnight. For some, it was a particular door that was never locked, or a certain creak on the third step that told you you were almost there. You didn't have to think your way back to it, your feet just knew. And your breath has been at that place the entire time we've been sitting. It doesn't need you to find it, it's already found you over and over every few seconds. So we're not going to try to manage it today. Not going to try to improve it or make it deeper or slower than it wants to be on its own. Let's just notice that it's there. The way you'd notice a porch light you've walked toward 10,000 times without ever really once looking at the bulb. Feel the inhale arrive. Feel where it lands today. Maybe high in the chest or low in the belly, maybe somewhere in between. Feel the exhale let itself back out on its own schedule. No help required. A few days ago, I passed a farm stand out on a back road. Kind you almost miss if you're not looking. No one was there, just a wobbly folding table under a tarp, baskets of tomatoes and cucumbers, a hand-lettered sign with prices and a metal cash box with a slot cut in the lid. You took what you wanted. You left what you owed. Nobody was standing there to make sure you did it right. I sat in the truck for a minute before I got out, just looking at it. There's something about a setup like that, the trust of it, the plainness. Well, it just sort of makes you smile. Somebody grew all of that produce, watered it, worried over it, watched the weather for it, and then they just left it there for whoever came along and needed tomatoes that day. And that's the shape of our time today. Not the growing part, but the part where something has ripened and it's simply waiting to be received. Now, at some point today, your mind is probably going to leave the room entirely. It'll go to a phone call you need to make, a bill, or something a child or grandchild said to you in the last week that you're still chewing on. Don't look at that as a failure. That drifting off is only what minds do. Somewhere a couple yards away, imagine someone stacking firewood. That particular sound. Log dropped onto log, a pause, another dropped on top. A rhythm with no hurry in it at all. You're not out there helping, and you're not annoyed by it either. You just hear it going along at its own pace, and you let your attention stay here, on your own porch, in your own chair. So when a thought pulls you away, let it be that woodpile. It'll keep stacking whether you go check on it or not. Just notice that you've drifted and walk back up the path. Walk back up to the breath. If you only take one thing away from your time today, however far your attention wanders, there is always this here, this breath to come back to. The porch light is always on. I want to bring you something short today from the Tao Te Ching. Small old book, a couple thousand years old, still finding new readers because it never tries to say more than it needs to. This is from the ninth chapter. Translation I'm using is from Stephen Mitchell. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never be. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. I probably have 25 different translations of the Tao Te Ching, but every time I read that line about the bowl, it still catches me off guard. Not because it's telling us not to have enough. It's telling us something gentler than that there's a point past enough, where more of a good thing stops being a gift and starts being a mess on the counter. If you've ever done any canning, you know this in your hands, not just your head. You fill the jar, but you don't fill it all the way to the lid. You leave that little bit of headspace, an inch, maybe less, because a jar packed to the absolute top won't seal right. It'll crack in the water bath, or the lid won't pull down the way it should. The space you leave isn't waste, it's what lets the thing hold. Harvest asks something similar of us, I think. Season that hands you more than you strictly need, more tomatoes than one household can eat, more zucchini than you can perhaps even imagine, more good days than you can properly savor one at a time. The instinct is to grab all of it, can all of it, hoard it against some imagined shortage. Of gathering it in, and this is the part that's hard, step back before the bowl is completely full. Leave a little room. That's not scarcity, it's what lets the whole thing hold together. Picture yourself in an orchard late in the season, apples or pears, whichever you like better. The grass underneath a little overgrown, gone to seed. The air smells like the ground does after something has been ripening on it a while. You've got a basket on your arm and you're picking, reaching up into the lower branches, twisting gently the way you'd twist a doorknob, feeling the fruit let go into your palm when it's ready and resist you when it isn't. Fill the basket, take your time with it. Feel the weight of it change on your arm as it goes from nearly empty to comfortably full. Now notice up above you, higher than you can easily reach, there are a few left on the highest branches. You could go get the ladder. You could strip the tree down to bare wood if you wanted to be thorough about it. But see if you can just let them stay there instead. Not out of laziness, out of something more like respect. Let a few stay for the birds, or the next person who walks through, or simply for the tree itself, which gave you plenty without your having to take every last thing it had. And that's really our whole practice today. A full basket, a few left on the branch. Both true, both good at the very same time. Let's try another image, this one indoors. Picture a table set for a meal made mostly of what's been gathered this season. Platter of sliced tomatoes still warm from the sun. Corn stripped off the cob, bread with a little give to it, whatever you'd choose if this were your own kitchen. People are seated around it. Whoever you'd like to see there, living or gone, it doesn't matter for this exercise. Dishes are getting passed. Someone reaches for the last piece of something, hesitates, and quietly sets it back down for whoever hasn't had a turn yet. Notice that nobody at this table is going without. And notice too that nobody's plate is stacked past what they can actually eat. There's a special kind of ease in the room that comes specifically from that. Enough for everyone, and no one grabbing for more than their share of it. Let yourself feel full here, not stuffed, not straining at the waistband, just satisfied. Notice how different that feeling is from the kind of fullness that comes from taking more than was ever yours to take. You can carry that kind of particular full back. It travels well. Before we move to the closing, a few lines from a poem today instead of the whole thing. The poem is called Just Thanks. It's by a contemporary poet, W.S. Merwin. It's built almost entirely out of repetition. The words thank you said again and again in circumstance after circumstance, some of them quite ordinary, some of them rather hard. He wrote it as a kind of counting, proof, maybe, that gratitude can keep showing up even in a year or a life that hasn't been easy the whole way through. It opens like this. Listen, with the night falling, we are saying thank you. And it moves through so many small, specific moments of it. Thank you said at bus stops, in hospitals, over telephones, in fields, in the middle of arguments, before it closes on a note of people running outside with their mouths still full, just to look up at the sky and say it one more time. It's the kind of poem that means more read in full than in pieces, and I won't try to give you all of it from memory here. But do take a few moments and go find it this week. It's a quick 5-minute read, if that, and just let it work on you slowly. Again, the poet is W.S. Merwin, Merwin, and the poem is called Thanks. Wherever the rest of your day takes you, see if you can carry one small thing out the door with you out of our session today. You don't have to gather in everything that's offered to you today. Take what's given. Leave a little room in the jar. That's not a loss. That's what lets it hold. And we turn now to our affirmations. As always, some will land, some may not. Take what works for you and just let anything else pass you by. I can do it all. Enough is not the same as less than I deserve. I leave a little room, and that room is what lets me hold steady. And one more. There is plenty here, and I don't have to hurry to claim it. So take a moment or two to just consider the practice today. Just give you a moment to let your mind integrate any insights that may have bubbled up today. And we'll slowly work our way back to our day. So let's come back gently. Feel your hands and feet again, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, and maybe bringing any other gentle movement to the body that feels right to you. Notice any sounds in the room you're in and perhaps even beyond the room. And then when you're ready, in your own time, there's no hurry. You can let your eyes open back up and let the light back in. Thanks for sitting to practice with me today. Thanks for being here. Namaste.